Hey y'all, I'm back with another video in my fall embellishment series, and this is my third one, and I'll be sharing how I created some fun little embellishments using washi. Now I know this is not washi, but I'm just going to grab some things that will help me build my embellishments, and I'm going to set those things to the side. Now I'm going to grab my washi tape, and I have a 80-pound piece of cardstock. And I have different colored washi tapes. Well, I really don't have a whole lot of like fall-ish colors. I have a lot of bright colors, and I was really kind of looking more for like some peachy colors, maybe even navy, and I really don't have a whole lot of that in my stash. And so what I did instead was I grabbed some kind of copper toned, gold toned washi. I do have a couple of different pieces of my Freckled Fawn washi strips left, and so I added those to little 3x4 cards, and you'll see those there on the left. And then I had some like really old washi that's by, I think, Dear Lizzie. It was like one of her, it was the one that's like all about the stars, I feel like, and I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, I grabbed that so that I could kind of cut that and cut those little words apart and use those as elements on top of my embellishments. So by now you've noticed that I used some punches, and this is just to make it easier. Again, you can do a lot of this stuff without it, and then also you can use dies if you want to. I just thought that I would stick kind of the easy route and use my punches. So I've used different circular punches. I've used a couple of border punches, or maybe one border punch. I've used a tab punch, cloud, and a ticket punch. I've also used a banner punch too. And for some of them, I'm just kind of going to cut them out with my scissors. I'm not really going to focus on getting them perfect. I am going to cut these words out and set them aside and use them when I start to build my embellishments. So I forgot that I had this really pretty washi tape, and I think it's kind of like a herring. No, it's a chevron. I didn't know if it was a herringbone or chevron, but it has black and white chevron stripes, and so I decided to use that because I really love kind of like the pop of black and white. And then I also found this kind of mustard color floral washi, and I decided to use that as well. And I think I got that from Hobby Lobby. Now that I have my base shapes going, I am going to start building up my embellishments. I'm going to start with just some basic things that I have in my stash, like words and other stickers that are shaped, and then I have some puffy stickers as well, just to kind of add some extra texture to these embellishments. So I have two piles going. The pile on the right probably has some sort of tiny attacher staple, or it's just the pile where I don't want to sew. And so I'm going to leave those to the right, and I'm going to leave them alone. After I'm done, I probably won't add anything else to them. On the left-hand side at the top, whatever I put in that pile, I know that I want to sew. So you'll see at the end that I actually sew quite a bit of them, about half of them, and I really love the way that it turned out. So I'm just going to continue building these. I do want to mention that I haven't bought anything in a long time. The only things that I really that I'm getting in the mail are still my Studio Calico kits just once a month, and I do purchase those, and then the other things that I get sent from the design teams that I don't purchase. And so pretty much anything I'm using is stuff that I have in my stash, and or stuff that I've had for a long time, and I'm just using it up. And that is one of the things that I love about these projects, is you kind of get a new perspective on your product, and it's not just using them as is. And so what I'm going to do is after I'm done using these embellishments or building them, creating them, I'm going to set them in my little bin with the rest of my fall embellishments that I've created, and I am going to create a little mini book, and you'll see the base of the mini book that I created, and then I'll share some of the processes with you where I do my November 30 Thankful 30. I've already created the mini book, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a little sneak peek of it. But I think that these embellishments will go perfect in that. And if you want to see how I use them, make sure you're subscribed so that you can see future videos on using these embellishments in that particular mini book or other projects as well. So I pretty much just left my entire process so that you guys could just watch everything from start to finish. Unless there was something like boring where I had to get up and get something, I pretty much left everything in, and that way you don't miss any of the embellishments that I'm creating. So sometimes in the middle of my process, I realize that there's some things that maybe I need, and I kind of, in some ways, got tired of creating the same look, and so I decided to kind of pull some other shapes out. And I think it's because once you punch shapes, you kind of have that. Obviously, you have the same shape, but just multiples. And so I pulled some labels and like some rectangular shapes, and I think I also even punched a star and a square to just change it up a little bit, and I really love the way they all came out. Okay, so at this point I am just kind of finishing up creating my embellishments. I have just a couple more, and then I'm going to start with the sewing. I have this little bin that I keep just kind of like leftover little bits, and so I'll reach for that whenever I need something small. And it's really helpful because I have different textures too. I have some vellum, some cork. I might even have like chipboard in there as well, and that's really helpful when I'm creating embellishments, or whenever I'm just creating a layout or project life spread and I just need something really small. I also, in my search of other items, I found this one little strip of orange washi that had numbers on it, and so I decided to pull a couple of labels and just kind of layer that washi on there and then use it as kind of just a base shape to add some other things. And so pretty much every embellishment has some sort of washi element on it, and I think that's kind of was obviously the purpose of this video. So now I have moved on to just a little extra step that you obviously don't have to do. So I have this piece of chipboard that I got in some sort of packaging, and I'm just taking my punches and I'm going to punch some of the shapes that I've created already that I've sewn on. And that is so that because the sewing is a little rough, which I intended it to be, the embellishments don't lay flat. So I thought, well, if I'm going to have dimension, I might as well make it a chipboard shape. So instead of just leaving it to where the sewing is all rough on the bottom and it just kind of is like a little bit wonky, what I decided to do was punch that exact same shape. So if it's a ticket embellishment with sewing on it, I punched a ticket shape out of chipboard, and then I adhered those together. I sandwiched them together, and now they're a dimensional embellishment, but also they lay flat. And so I really love the way those turned out. Before I created this video, I just kind of practiced a little bit and just kind of wanted to see what kind of route I wanted to take. And so I created some extra ones, and you'll see those in these final photos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did, and by giving me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.